And with that, we now head to the Parliament, where the Senate has passed 4 tax reform bills for a second reading aimed at simplifying tax administration and resolving revenue disputes in Nigeria. Now leading the debate, Senate Leader Bamidele Opeyemi emphasized that the reforms would ease the tax burden on low-income earners. However, Senator Ali Ndume urged further consultation, citing concerns about revenue sharing and VAT clauses. Despite objections, the bills are advanced through voice votes. In a separate session, the Senate paid tribute to former Senate President Dr. Joseph Wayas during a valedictory ceremony. Senators praised his leadership and national service as his remains lay in state at the National Assembly, draped in the national flag. The chamber described Wayas as a symbol of democracy and governance. Now, to further discuss this, I'm joined by Dr. Femi Egbesola, President, Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Egbesola.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
So, please, can you tell us, how do the proposed tax reforms, aim to simplify Nigeria's tax administration?
Well, I think this is a breath of fresh air, particularly for those of us in business, the SMEs, and of course, the very vulnerable Nigerians. Because with this new bill, if it is eventually passed into law, it is going to reduce a lot of tax burden from us. First, it's going to be that many poor people will be exempted from paying taxes, particularly those whose earnings are from 800,000 annually down, will be exempted from paying taxes. For us in small business, formerly the threshold for exemption from company income tax was 25 million turnover, but now it's going to be 50 million turnover downward. And that's a very good news for us. And that also means that we're also be able to have a simplified way of paying our taxes, registering taxes, filing taxes, and having disputes being resolved. All of these is being treated, and we hope that when this bill comes to light and becomes a law, Nigerians will be better for it, and businesses will thrive better.
Okay, now these particular reforms are intended to, ease the tax burden, especially on low-income earners. Now, how effective do you think that these measures would actually be?
Yes, it's going to be very effective. By now, we have so many multiple taxes being paid from all strata, from individuals to companies to corporate organizations. And this is dragging down the economy, it's reducing productivity, and it's also reducing the disposable income of the average Nigerians. So if by now we have this new bill come to say, it means that there will be more disposable income in the hands of an average Nigerian, and that means they are also going to be able to buy more goods and services, which will increase the productivity of the micro, small, and medium-sized businesses, even the larger corporations. It's also going to mean that a lot of wastages when it comes to payment of taxes will be blocked, and such funds can be pummeled back into the company to run better businesses.
All right, now, Senator Ali Ndume actually raised concerns, about the revenue sharing and also VAT clauses in the bills. Can you tell us how these issues will impact Nigeria's fiscal federalism, especially or particularly in terms of resource distribution between the federal and also the state governments?
For us in the private sector, we support the sharing formula. We believe that one state must have more activities happen in the subnational than the federal. So we appreciate that so much as 50-55% is being allocated to states. Again, also when it comes to the VAT, we believe that those that are having more activity, bringing more into the VAT table, should be able to also collect more, because it means that these corporate organizations that are densely populated in some of these key states that will be collecting more VAT will have a lot of infrastructure challenges to face that will need finance, and that's going to come from such allocation like taxes and VAT. So for us, we support the recommendation of the tax committee, and we pray that they see the light of the day, because it is really going to help a lot of development and bring about economic growth in Nigeria, and particularly those states that are already having a high concentration of manufacturing companies and the rich sector.
All right, now you've touched on, a few goals of these, bills, and one of the goals of the tax reform bills is actually to resolve revenue disputes. Now, in your expert's opinion, how will these reforms help resolve the ongoing conflicts between the federal government and also states over revenue collection, particularly VAT?
Yes, for the fact that the new bill recommends that there will now be a tax ombudsman, it means that we all have a particular place where we can take a tax disputes to for resolution. And that to me is a big deal. Again, also, every activity when it comes to tax is now being centralized. When you want to register, when you want to file taxes, when you want to make claims, when you want to come for dispute, it is just one center, and that is going to help dispute resolution to come in fast. And at the same time, it's going to give a lot of relief, particularly to small business owners who are being charged and given multiple taxes and do not have an arbiter where they can lay their complaints. It is also going to give us a very good light in the international community, because it means now we want to be playing according to global standards. And that is very important for us if you want to be competitive and be relevant in the global market.
All right. Now, Doctor, are there implications of these tax reforms for Nigeria's informal economy, which makes up a significant portion of the country's economic activity?
Yes, the impact is going to be very positive on the informal sector. Of course, you know that the informal sector constitutes about 85% of the business ecosystem in Nigeria. And these are those that are actually burdened by multiple taxes and other challenges that has to do with taxes. Many of these challenges have been resolved if this particular law, tax bill comes into law. And it will also help to now make it easier for MSMEs and particularly the informal sector to now come up and pay their bills, because they know they're going to pay one single bill without having to go through a lot of stress. In fact, some of these bills can now be paid on their phone, on their phone without going to any offices, because it is being simplified to that point. And I believe that it will also bring many more people into the tax net and also increase the revenue of government when it comes to tax collection.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Egbesola, for your time and for speaking to us on the news.
Thank you for having me.